Welcome back to another solo episode of the AWOL Podcast. Drink more water, or you might die. Mick Jenkins. Yeah, we're back. This is going to be a quick one. Just wanted to touch base with everybody. I'm off 2 weeks of episodes due to, one, it was my birthday. Two, I did an episode with a guest that was on here once or maybe twice. I can't remember. And it was a little too real because everybody's a little sensitive. Not, you know what? I take that word back. They may be sensitive to some people, right? But I got unfriended because somebody was calling somebody sensitive, and I simply stated, like, the whole Pocahontas story with Disney, right? It's not what it seems. It's not what it is, what Disney portrays. It's not. It's not what it is. But my thing is, where do we draw the line on what does somebody have the right to be offended by? Like, if you're offended by something and I'm not, do I now call you names or say that you're sensitive because you're offended by something? But I'm not offended by it. So now, therefore, you're soft, you're sensitive, you're woke, you're this, you're that, right? But now what happens if I'm offended by something and that person is not? Am I sensitive? What's the line? Like, who has the right to be offended and who doesn't? Now, cancel culture, we already know how I feel about it. I think it's crazy. It's too much. And it is not, I don't think cancel culture is crazy on the aspect of if somebody's offended by something, they want it off the air, that's crazy. It isn't that. That's not, hey, something offends you and it has nothing to do with me. If you're a Native American and you don't like the word Indian and you're offended by it, or by the Washington football team's word, and you wanted that change, hey, listen, I'm not Native American. So how can I say, oh, relax, bro, it ain't that serious, right? Because I'm not Native American. So I can't speak on it. If you want it changed, you and your people go fight for that and change it, all right? So I don't. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not even a Washington fan, but if I was, I'd be like, all right, granted, it sucks because it was that name, but well, let's change it. They're offended by it, right? The slippery slope is what I don't like about cancel culture, that it can go down the line of what is going to get canceled next. What can you say or what can't you say? Because then you end up on this fine line of like walking the edge and you don't know what to do. Like, oh, is this going to be the day I get canceled? Like, it's bonkers. And it also sets the precedent for a government or whoever, any entity that has more power over you to control your speech. That is the only reason why I don't like cancel culture, because we're going away from freedom of speech and your right to say what you want to say. Because, yeah, sure, we don't want to bully anybody, and this cartoon might be crazy, and Aunt Jemima maple syrup might be crazy, right? Who knows? It might be offensive. But if we start taking things away, at what point do they say, you know what? Nobody could wear the color yellow anymore. Nobody could wear a red anymore. Everybody got to wear the same, bro. Next thing you know, we're on a Netflix show like 3%. I don't know if you ever seen 3%. I think it's 3% on Netflix. Bonkers. It could end up that way. That's the only reason I don't like cancel culture, because it's slippery. So that episode got a little crazy, right? And I'm like, you know what? Listen, I didn't start this to be controversial. Yeah, sure, I could have put that episode out and it probably would have got hits from both sides. I would have got people like, yeah, word. And then I would have got people that were like, you guys are assholes, right? Either way, you can't win. You can't satisfy everybody, right? But I knew that if I dropped that episode, I probably would have got some views on it. But that's not what I'm doing it for. So I'm like, you know what? I got it in and that ain't the first episode that was unreleased. I'm probably sitting on 6, 7 episodes that are unreleased that I either redid or just got too crazy or whatever the case may be. Maybe I'll do a Patreon where you got to subscribe to the Patreon page. Yeah, you got to pay, but I don't know, $5. I don't know I didn't even look into it. But maybe I'll do that. And I'll drop the unreleased episodes on the Patreon page. Because therefore, if you got to pay to watch these videos and you got offended, you paid to be here. I'll put a disclaimer. If you don't like some things, you might hear some wild shit on here. So therefore, you know what? This might not be the shit. So before you accept and pay this money, you're doing this on your own accord. So that's that. So a couple of episodes. I've been off 2 weeks, and like I said, it was my birthday. I've been doing a lot of things. So I'm back on that. I want to give a shout out to my homie, I think it was episode 33, the homie Mark Beatnick. And he's up on the stock market. He's still learning, but he knows his shit, right? Knows more shit than I do. I'll tell you that right now. And that's why I had him on the podcast to talk about it. This was after the GameStop thing. He'd been on it. My homie been on GameStop. It wasn't like he just heard about it last month. He been on it. And do you believe he came here and said it? And I was so caught up in like trying to listen to what people are saying and then also keep the conversation going. And I don't listen back to the episodes. So I missed what he said. And it shot back up. And I'm like, oh shit, he was right. That was one episode I should have listened back to. But needless to say, I got into it. And that's where I spend all my time now. Trying to book guests for this, which ain't easy. And I'm stock marketed out. That's all I do, 10 hours a day. Just read, research, crunch numbers. I don't know what I'm doing to a certain extent. I don't, really. To be playing around with money, you better know what you're doing. Because ain't nobody got money to throw away. So I'm learning that. So I wanted to give a shout out to him because it made me realize that he put in work to know where he's at. So I'm going to put in work to know where I know. One thing that's annoying is when you try to do something and you put in a lot of hours into something and somebody comes along, where should I put my money at? What? Bro, you know how many hours I spent researching companies and SPACs and IPOs, ETFs? And you want me to, just put $100 in there. You'll double your money by tomorrow. You're going to have to do some work. You know what I mean? But once he realized that I was putting in some work, now I feel like if I hit him with a question, he's like, I don't know. Or he'd be like, oh, well, do this. Or try going the paper money or whatever, Thinkorswim app and play with fake bread to learn options. And then with your real money, just do what you're doing. And I'm like, I bet. But the key is that there's a way to wealth. This is going to be the biggest transfer of wealth, I believe, that's going to happen. He said it. Other comments that I've read and pages I'm on, they say it. It may or may not happen. I got long-term investments that I'm in my portfolio. And then, of course, you know, I'm GME'd out. Diamond hands to hold to the moon. If I lose all the bread that I got in GME, I don't care. Right now, it's on principle. I'm doing this on principle now. And if to the hedge funds, to the elites, the ones that got bailed out in 2008, now you're trying to do it again. Listen, now it's on principle, right? Take all the money. I'll lose it all. I didn't put that money in there thinking like I need that money to pay my bills. Listen, I put that money in there to gamble. Sir, this is a casino. Sir, this is a casino. I'll lose it all. Like I said, it's on principle. I don't want a piece of the pie. I want control of the kitchen. Stickman Dead Press. I don't want a piece of the pie. I want control of the kitchen. People, they've been having control of the kitchen for forever, man. And anytime the kitchen could burn down because of them, here comes the government, bails them out and builds them a new kitchen. After they done took the insurance money, then they get given money to rebuild the kitchen. And meanwhile, I'm out here just, can I get a piece of the pie? Bro, I want my own kitchen. And if this works, it works. If it doesn't, I don't care, but it's on principle. They ain't gonna get easy money this time. I don't know what my punk ass shares are gonna do, right? I'm not sitting on 1,000 shares of GameStop, right? But like I said, it's on principle on my end. I got long terms, that's that. So I think this time people need to realize that the saying the rich get richer, sure, that's a fact, but they've been rich since the beginning. We're not born rich, most of us, at least where I'm from. Think about it. We're not born rich, but you can get close enough. Maybe not for you, but you can build generational wealth. But if you don't, the cycle will continue, and now your son or daughter got to start generational wealth. And then if they don't do it, then the next seed got to do it. And then, so I'm going on the Native American idea of 7 generations. I'm trying to live my life now to where 7 generations from now it's good. Whether that be nieces, nephews, whatever, I don't care. People I don't even know, strangers, who knows? This podcast, 7 generations later, if these files are still around and somebody hears it, then maybe it works. I don't know. It is what it is. So I just think that we need to do more research. We need to learn about the way the economy is, stock market. Whatever the rich people do, that's what we need to see. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to research. We might not have the funds or the capital to do it the way they do it, but at least we know what they're doing. So if we had the capital, we can make some moves. School should be teaching us how to pay taxes. Bro, listen, IRS is real. They'll lock you up if you don't pay your shit. They don't teach us that in school, but come on, let's be real. But meanwhile, Christopher Columbus, and we know the stupid-ass song of that murderer, rapist, Christopher Columbus. Catch feelings on that all you want. Sorry if you're Italian and you praise the guy, murderer, rapist. We celebrate that dude, but yet taxes, nah, we're not going to talk about that. Mental illness, we're not going to talk about that. Maybe now, but when I was in school, we're not going to talk about it. School needs to get changed. And if school ain't teaching your kids this, you teach your kids this. Don't wait for somebody. You already know the school system is against us. The curriculum sucks. You already know. Unless you go to a high honor school where you're paying $30,000 a year for your 7-year-old. That's crazy, bro. That's a money grab in itself, even though they teach a kid. But who got that much bread? Nobody. Teach your kids the shit you want them to know that nobody else is going to teach them, as harsh as it is. And then maybe later, they won't be trying to cancel anything because they'll know what it is. That's that. So I said we do that. I want to, once again, thank you everybody for subscribing, for watching it. My bad for not dropping an episode consistently. I try to do an episode a week. It's some, with the Rona, it's hard to get a guest. People are busy. It's not as easy as it seems. But we working on it. It's the AWOL Podcast, all walks of life. I got some things in the works. I say that every time, but I'm really trying. So yeah, thank you everybody for peeping it. You already know what it is. I thank y'all. And yeah, that's about it, man. Anything else I got? Nah, man. That's about it. Stay tuned for some future-ish. And on that note,
we might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am
a principal,
a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that.
Hold the line, bro. We out of here.